girl held up her favorite crystal horse and wanted to show it to the robot, but the robot didn't catch it and smashed it to pieces. This offended the only person in the house who considered him a friend. The girl blurted out that she hated him. The girl was so angry, she kicked him out. The robot only knows how to do what he's told. He did as he was told and turned to leave, when he suddenly saw a piece of dead wood on the beach. That gave him a bold idea. He picked the wood back up and spent the night learning some carpentry skills. Little did he know that the next day he'd surprise the second lady. With just a book on sewing, he carved a beautiful wooden horse and gave it to her as a gift. The second lady reciprocated by taking out her pet dog doll and slipping it into the robot's hand. The little girl didn't know what the wooden horse meant, but just thought of it as a favorite toy. However, when the father saw the wooden horse, he immediately realized something was wrong. It's just an ordinary household robot. How could it have the creative mind of a human being? So he asked the robot, "Andrew, did you really make this?" Andrew said yes. He said robots can't lie. He went on to ask Andrew if he designed it. Andrew said yes. And so the gears of fate began to turn. The story of a machine that becomes a man is about to begin. A love story that spans 3 generations is about to begin. And now he's just a steel machine that envies humans for their emotional ups and downs. Not long ago, Andrew was bought by Neill as a domestic robot. The second daughter is curious about him, but the eldest daughter doesn't care about him. It's just a lump of steel. What's the point? The eldest daughter hates Andrew because he cooks the same old dinner and doesn't know how to fry or stir fry. The girl called the robot butler upstairs and told him to jump from the window. He didn't hesitate to carry out his young master's order directly and jump down from the window. Neill hears the noise and rushes to open the door to see what's going on, only to see Andrew covered in mud and slumped over from the fall. He asked Andrew what had happened. Andrew refused to tell him. Neill instantly realizes that it must be his daughter's prank. He calls his daughters over and tells them that even though Andrew is a robot, he told them that even if Andrew was a robot, he had to be treated as a family since he had come to the family. The second daughter understood her father's message and learned to respect others. This planted a seed of goodwill to fight for Andrew's legal rights years later. The eldest daughter couldn't understand. Andrew was just our personal property, so what respect was there to be had? But even though she didn't agree with the idea, she didn't hold it against Andrew. And soon Andrew's destiny changed. On a beach not far from home, Mr. shared her favorite toy pony with him, only to have him smash it to pieces. And that's how the story began. He makes a wooden horse from Missy, but Neill discovers the power of it. It's a human creation, but it's made by a robot with a fixed program. So the next day, Neill takes Andrew and his work to the robot manufacturer to get their opinion on the matter. But the manager just inspected it and made a rash judgment. He said there must be a problem with the circuit. Then the manager asked him to return it. But Neill could see what the manager was thinking. He was afraid that the company's reputation would be affected if the story got out, so he wanted to recycle and destroy it. Of course, Neill refused, even if the other party was willing to pay a fortune in compensation, because in his eyes, personality is priceless. After that, Neill reduced Andrew's workload so that he had time to learn and create. He taught Andrew about the human world, emotions, tone of voice, humor, and the origins of life, things that weren't programmed into him. Of course, he also had a wicked sense of humor and taught Andrew some unorthodox things, such as telling jokes. He says, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" Andrew said there were some possibilities. He says it's because it wants to go across the road. It's a bit of a cold joke, so cold that it's embarrassing for the steel machine. Andrew asks what's so funny about it. He didn't say anything. However, the next day, he was able to tell his master the joke he made up. Everyone was amused. He told several jokes in a row, making Neill's family laugh. But then Neill also told him not to tell jokes during meals, or he would easily choke. Perhaps it was Neill's tolerance and kindness that made it possible for this cold machine to become a human being. Andrew seems to have learned from his master's kindness. When the robot cleans, it will release small animals when it finds them. He also developed his own hobbies. When he's alone, he listens to music. He would often go to the seaside to look for suitable materials for his creations. Mr. has become his little henchman, collecting wood with him and occasionally helping him with tools. Under Andrew's meticulous carving, a piece of lifeless wood was transformed into an eternal artistic life. It was also at this moment that she realized that this lump of iron seemed to be really different. So every time she played the piano, she'd call him over to accompany her. Andrew's learning ability was superb. With just a few simple lessons, his thick steel fingers were able to bounce on the keys with exceptional agility, easily keeping up with Missy's rhythms and playing beautiful music. Time went by, and soon 15 years passed. Mr. had grown into a beautiful young woman. That day she told Andrew that a handsome young man had proposed to her. but she didn't want to say yes. The reason was that she had a friend who was funny and knowledgeable. When she is with him, she forgets about the guy who proposed. Andrew, be blunt, then marry your friend. But the second lady stopped short of saying something and then burst out laughing. How was she going to explain to him that it was impossible for a human to be with a robot? Luckily, robots don't understand the complexity of human emotions, and he won't be embarrassed. In the end, Mr. decided to say yes to the guy's proposal, but she also solemnly invited Andrew to attend her wedding. Andrew agrees, but for the first time, he was distracted by his work. As Missy passes by with her fiancé on her arm, he is suddenly saddened. Neill was also saddened. For the first time, this gentleman showed his vulnerability in front of him. The eldest daughter had married someone else a long time ago. The second daughter was the most sensible, but she had to start her own life. Though he wished for his daughter's happiness, he still had a lot of reluctance and worries. Looking at his sadness, Andrew began to comfort him by saying, "I'm still here for you." Neill thanked him. After that, Andrew wanted to install some emoticons for himself. He wanted to express his feelings and thoughts with emoticons. It was a special order, and naturally, it was expensive. When Andrew looked at the bill, he screamed at the top of his lungs. "That's about a month's salary." The boss was surprised when he said it was more than my yearly salary. It turns out Andrew doesn't just carve wooden horses, he also carves clocks and watches, all of which are works of art. Neill helped him sell them and set up a separate account for him to keep the money. The second lady helped him to get this right. Andrew's boundless energy and carvings were so numerous that they were filling up the house. So Neill wanted to get rid of them, but Mr. said the money from the sale should go to Andrew. Neill was going to object, but Mr. just shut him up with something he said all those years ago. Neill used to tell his family he wanted everyone to treat Andrew with respect as a family member. Since he was family, he couldn't take away his wages. Neill couldn't argue with that. Neill had to agree. But he was a rich man, and he didn't care about the money. He warned his daughter not to get too emotionally involved in the steel machine. She listened to him and married a normal human. Soon another 12 years passed. In that time, Andrew read hundreds of books and learned one valuable thing. What was the one valuable thing he learned? And what would it do that would be so surprising? I'm BullDog Movie. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.